Dean is live on the North Lawn at the White House for us today. All right, Libby, what's the latest from there?
Hey, Connell, President Trump actually rated this morning's emergency summit that took place. He rated it a 10, and two sources also tell me that both the vice president and Trump's Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, of course, they were on that call this morning that the president says went well. Let's take a listen to him.
Very good call. He was on the call. President Zelenskyy was on the call. I would rate it a 10, you know, very, very friendly. It's going to be a very important meeting, but it's setting the table for the second meeting. I think the second meeting, if the second meeting takes place, now there may be no second meeting, because if I feel that it's not appropriate to have it because I didn't get the answers that we have to have, then we're not going to have a second meeting.
The president casting some doubt there on a potential second meeting, but the German chancellor who called for this morning's meeting, that virtual summit, saying that during that meeting, summit leaders actually urged President Trump to make his message to Moscow clear, that they won't tolerate the invasion of Ukraine, and ultimately they want Trump in this meeting with Putin to push him towards a ceasefire. That is, of course, what the Europeans and Zelenskyy are wanting. Zelenskyy also had this strong message for Trump ahead of this meeting, claiming that Putin is bluffing on wanting peace at all. Let's listen to Zelenskyy.
There must be a ceasefire. Number one, there must be really reliable security guarantees. Today, by the way, President Trump spoke about supporting this and about America's readiness to participate. Sanctions must be in place, and they must be strengthened if Russia does not agree to a ceasefire in Alaska.
So President Trump and his administration here keeping expectations relatively low heading into Friday. The president did say that he wants to hear what Putin has to say. He wants to do that face-to-face. That's what is going to happen in Alaska. But the president also warning there will be very severe consequences for Russia if they won't move towards ending the war during this meeting that's going to happen on Friday. But the next thing to watch for here is this potential trilateral that you just heard President Trump mention there. That would, of course, be between Zelenskyy, Trump, and Putin. And Trump saying that meeting now all depends on how things go with Putin on Friday in Alaska. Connell?
You know, it's interesting. President Trump's kind of a different type of president, just the way he approaches things. I'm always interested in this. Ahead of a big, meeting like this or a debate or whatever it may be, do we know how the president is prepping for Friday?
Connell, we're actually learning some key details on how he's prepping. A senior White House official that I just spoke with said that the president, he's feeling optimistic. That is how he described when I said, can you describe how the president is feeling in one word? That is what they told me. But he's also, this prep that he's doing behind closed doors. You mentioned, of course, he talked with world leaders today. We saw that happen during this morning's emergency summit that took place. But these key details that we're learning is the president is meeting with key advisors, 3 key advisors. It's his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, his special envoy, Steve Witkoff, and, of course, his right-hand woman, Susie Wiles, his chief of staff. Now, the White House says that this Alaska meeting, though, you'll remember it came about because Putin actually requested it during his closed-door meeting with Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, a couple of weeks ago. So it makes sense that Witkoff is the one who's meeting with President Trump behind closed doors. And the White House official also telling me that Witkoff is the one who's laying out the facts for the president as he just had this face-to-face meeting with Putin himself in Russia. So one thing we're going to be tracking is the potential of this trilateral. But interesting enough, Connell, we were reporting over the weekend that President Trump was considering inviting Zelenskyy. Of course, that's not going to happen now. But a separate White House official telling me that was never the case. He wasn't ever considering inviting Zelenskyy. This was always a bilateral, not a trilateral. And that's kind of something we heard the president lay out during his remarks today at the Kennedy Center as well, Connell.
All right, Libby. Libby Dean's live at the White House.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.